Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Crown. I am your host, Kevin Briggins, alongside Ellis Hudson.
Yo, yo, what's up?
Not much, man. Man, week flew by fast. Here we go again.
Woo, did it.
All right, first time, everybody. We're doing something new. We got a special guest. Got our man, Christopher Ruiz, in the house. What's going on, Chris?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just ready to talk some sports.
All right, man. So let everybody know where you're from, who you follow, what are your sports team.
I am from Mobile, Alabama. First and foremost, I am a Lakers fan, die hard since the day I was born. And as far as everything else, Florida State would be my other team. I like the NFL a lot, but I don't really have a team. So,
Okay. All right. So we brought you on specifically to talk about the Lakers. All right. So tell us, how far can the Lakers go this year?
I don't think very far. Part of that being I don't see the defense there. We're talking about JaVale McGee, who's playing center, hasn't played more than 11 minutes a game in 4 years. And the other two options are LeBron, who probably hasn't played defense in 4 years, and they're getting Kyle Kuzma run at the center. I don't know in the modern day NBA how that front court plays any defense whatsoever. And that's going to be a problem first and foremost. And the other issue is the shooting's still not there. And I think whenever you're relying on, Svi out of Kansas to be the sniper who takes you places, I think there's some real deficiencies with those two things. And if we're really being honest, you have to play Golden State and you have to play Houston. Those are the two big guns out there. Those teams play great defense. Those teams shoot the three ball. And the Lakers right now, as constructed or not, cannot keep up with either of those two.
Yeah, I agree. I don't believe they are a championship contender because those top two teams are clearly above their league.
Yes.
But when I look at this young team who we already thought was going to contend for a playoff spot, and then we add LeBron, we add Rondo, you add Lance Stevenson, you add –
Hey, Kevin. Hey.
Yeah.
When you are referring to LeBron, can we say the GOAT?
Absolutely not. Matter of fact, this was Chris. How do you feel about all of these bandwagon LeBron fans coming over and talking about the Lakers?
Listen, we will take their increased revenue that they bring to sign Anthony Davis, and that'll be fine. It'll all be made better if that happens.
All right.
Okay, yes, my Lakers jersey is on the way. I will admit to that. But Chris, let me ask you this question. Who benefits more in this pickup? Do the Lakers benefit more, or does LeBron benefit more?
Actually, I think that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that because I was really hoping to answer that. I actually think it's both equally, and I think it's for different reasons. The Lakers needed LeBron to come to show everyone, hey, we're still LA. We're still the franchise of the NBA. We are the belle of the ball. Lakers needed that. LeBron, for not basketball reasons, maybe didn't need the Lakers, but now being on the Lakers increases his brand, if that could even be possible, to just new heights. LeBron is now looking after basketball. LeBron's still obviously a fantastic basketball player. He's going to win games. He's going to make money. It's going to be fantastic to watch him. However, LeBron is almost 34, and he's not getting any younger. He's played almost the most minutes in the history of the NBA. This is setting him up for life after basketball, and he's doing it with the Lakers. It's almost like he's the second coming of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with that. He's extending his career even more and building himself even more off the court as well.
So wait, you said the second coming of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Yeah, because Kareem came later in his career. Obviously not when Kareem is in his prime, although Kareem did win a Finals MVP at the age of 34 with the Lakers.
Wait. You saying LeBron ain't in his prime?
LeBron is not in his – he's not in his prime from a standpoint of he can't get it done on both ends of the field or both ends of the court anymore.
I agree. I just think that, and I think that's why he went there. And I feel like wherever LeBron went, he needed a young core to carry the load for him for 82 games because he can't keep doing that.
No, he can't. No, he got a young core, and I will tell you this: LeBron's prime has been from 18 until but I say 2 years from now.
Okay.
And he's got a good 2 more years in him.
I mean, he's still playing a high level. I mean, Kobe was in year 17, still averaging 27.
Yeah,
playing well until he tore his Achilles. So LeBron can still play at a high level for many years.
Very high level. Still, he's still gonna be top 5.
I agree.
I agree with that. I think he can definitely be a top 5 player for a couple more years. But the level of play of someone like Kevin Durant, which is at as high as it's going to be in his career right now, I don't think LeBron can quite match that anymore. And maybe on one side of the ball, like you said, he can't do it on offense and defense for 82 games. He can still be the best player in the world on offense, but you got to look at someone like Kevin Durant, who is a legit defensive player of the year and, a legit best offensive player guy. So, but whenever we're talking about does LeBron stack up with KD, that's a whole different conversation because he's still better than the rest of the league.
Yeah. Well, see, with KD, though, he doesn't have to expound so much energy on offense.
Mm-hmm.
KD he's an assassin. He was a 3-point shooter. He ain't banging in the paint.
Yeah.
Now, if he was banging in the paint, you wouldn't probably see him as much on defense.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. Steph Curry makes life easier on everybody. He's a guy who can shoot from seemingly half court.
Oh, yeah.
And he can pass like Steve Nash. So having that guy, it helps you. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that KD is that good. Curry can help him and KD can still be that good.
I think the cool thing about the Lakers, they brought in some young guys. I'm sorry, not young guys, but they brought in some vets to help the young guys. It's almost like 2 different teams.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be like, what was that? Remember when Kentucky had 2 squads going out? I think that's going to be the same kind of deal with the Lakers. You're going to have the new school and the old school.
I'm not as high on the veterans brought in. One person I am is Rajon Rondo.
Wow, you know what? I like Rondo, but he almost has like a, I don't know. Sometimes I think he has like an attitude problem. It may become like a virus. But I think the biggest addition was Lance Stevenson.
I'm not a Lance Stevenson fan.
Man, I enjoy him.
To say one good thing I will say about Lance, he'll be coming off the bench.
Yeah,
he's probably going to be playing 10 to 15 minutes. And the one thing about Lance is he's relentless.
He's relentless.
He is going to come off the bench and he is going to take it at whoever he's against. Which, as we know, especially, he may not be a factor in the playoffs whenever the rotation shrinks to 7, 8 men. Right. But if we're talking about the grind of an 82-game season where you can lose a couple of games here and there in effort alone, you know what? He may be able to bring that second unit more energy to get some of those, dog days of winter wins, if you will.
I think, every now and again, he can give you 20.
This is what I think. This is what I think the Lakers are doing. This is what I think Magic is smart to do. He knows he can't outscore Houston. He can't outscore Golden State. So what he did was, we're gonna go defensive. I know, Chris. You said you have concerns about the defense, and I guarantee. And yeah, with the post defense, absolutely. But JaVale McGee can still play D. You got Rondo on the perimeter, Lance Stevenson on the perimeter, LeBron on the perimeter. Then Ingram, long, lanky. Ball is long, lanky. Kuzma is long and lanky. They're going to try to play a style of basketball that is counter to Golden State because you're not going to outrun, you're not going to outscore Golden State. So I think what Magic has tried to do, or what he's going to try to do, is get those teams in games where he can slow it down. They can use their length and to give those team problems.
I don't know, man. I think this season is a wash. I think that Magic brought in a bunch of used cars and he is stacking assets for next year. I think there's no expectation at all from the ownership for this year. If they win 40, they win 40. If they win 50, they win 50s, whatever. They get bounced in the first round. They get bounced in the first round. He got 1-year contracts. He's got 3 or 4 young guys that are going to be great trade assets, and he's looking at 2019.
Yep, I think the young assets part is key. And I do agree with you that I think this year's a wash.
Yeah,
whatever they win, and that's great. And I think the hope with the Lakers is between Ingram, Kuzma, and Ball. They want Ingram to be the guy that they keep, but I think that they want Ball and Kuzma to become borderline stars this year.
Yep.
So that they can move those 2 guys for any piece in the league.
I think so too. You're right.
And I think LeBron James, I just read this yesterday. LeBron James has his own side of the locker room in the Lakers clubhouse, and there's only one locker next to him, and that's Brandon Ingram.
Boom.
And I think the Lakers are really betting on Ingram to become not a star, but a superstar.
Yeah.
And I personally think Brandon Ingram is still another year away from reaching there. But if you tell me he's going to average 22.6 rebounds, 4 assists this year, then you see how small he is. The guy that size, only 21 years old, 22 years old, like that's a huge step in the development. And then if next year you can move Kuzma and Lonzo, and let's say you grab AD, and we're talking about Brandon Ingram stepping into a superstar role, LeBron James still a superstar, and AD being the best big man in the world. Now we're talking competing for championships.
Yeah. As far as Ingram being a superstar, I don't know, man. He's going to feel the pressure this year.
Oh, yeah.
Playing with, first of all, playing with the LeBron, and then playing, in LA now where, the crowd is thinking about the future. He's going to have, instead of 2 reporters, now he's got 40.
Yeah.
And kids wearing his jersey. I mean, it's the pressure is going to be tremendous. Now you got Stephen A. talking about you, Skip Bayless talking about you, Porch Yakkin talking about you.
That's right.
So, the pressure's on.
Oh, yeah. I think he's actually handled the pressure well up to this point. When he was drafted at 2 overall,
he ain't had no pressure yet, bro.
Well, so he came in and everyone was saying, okay, you're the guy. You're the guy over D'Angelo Russell. You're the guy, over Julius Randle. You're the guy. And, of course, when Lonzo comes in, they still leaned on Brandon Ingram. You're right. The pressure's up. But he has had some pressure. And you know what? I think if there's a guy to learn from, it's LeBron James. Absolutely. I mean, he hasn't had – no one in the history of this sport has had more pressure on them than LeBron James. And having, like I said, that locker next to LeBron, those 2 are going to be spending a lot of days and nights together. And I think that's ultimately key for Brandon's development.
Because LeBron knows he needs Ingram to carry him the rest of the way.
In a couple of years. Not right now.
Wait a minute. What? LeBron, what? Dude, LeBron has never been carried in his life.
Oh, I think Dwayne would say differently.
Ever. He carried the cab.
Kyrie carried it.
Oh, yeah, Kyrie game. Oh, yeah.
He carried it. He carried.
Hey, Kyrie, I don't like to close games. I don't know how. Here, you have the ball.
He carried baby bone Kyrie, baby bone Love, and now he's about to go to LA.
Wade had to show him how to be a champion.
He about to put LA on his back.
He'll do something there in LA.
Yeah. So
no, I love messing with the LeBron fans. I give LeBron his props, and I do think adding him to this young lineup, they're not going to compete with Houston. They're not going to compete with Golden State. But I think LeBron can elevate them as long as they mesh, because that's really the thing with LeBron. Can you mesh with LeBron? How long is it going to take for that chemistry to kick in?
I think one interesting thing, and you alluded to it earlier, was the length. And if we're talking about a lineup that is Lonzo Ball 6'7", Brandon Ingram 6'9", LeBron 6'9", JaVale McGee 7'1", Kyle Kuzma 6'10", that's a huge lineup. And
Kuzma is 6'10"?
He is, man. He's big.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Tall guy. I think he has Blake Griffin arms, so he doesn't look as tall as he appears to be. But we're talking a huge lineup, and let's say that Kuzma, Ingram, and Lonzo all started hitting Well, Ingram's already there, but they all started hitting threes at a 40% clip with LeBron passing the ball. I'm not saying they could beat Houston or Golden State, but if there's a recipe too, it is having long guys and everyone's raining threes, and that's how you do it.
Yep. I agree. Right now, I think they got Kuzma coming off the bench as the sixth man, which I love because you need that instant offense, that spark off the bench. One thing that got me kind of interested to see is they're playing LeBron at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And can he go a whole season playing that 4 position? I know this is the new NBA. I know it's small ball, and as he transitions, as he gets older, that might be where he needs to be to preserve himself. But I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
Believe it or not, one weird thing is as the NBA is kind of transformed into everyone shooting threes, believe it or not, I wish I had the stat offhand, but there are more centers that shoot threes than power forwards these days. And in a roundabout way, that kind of helps because LeBron won't have to be chasing 4s all over the court. He'll be positioned in the mid-range down low a lot more than if he were playing center.
Yeah.
So that actually is a weird little stat that helps him.
Yeah, it is. I'm just concerned about him having to bang in the post with power forwards for 80 games. He's
still a strong guy. I mean,
he is.
It may take a year off of. He may play till he's 42 instead of 43. So he's a big boy. He's a big boy, big shoulders, solid frame. I don't see him hurting him that much. If anything, it probably takes away from his 3-point and free throw shooting when his legs start to go.
Yeah. All right. So Chris, before we let you go, man, what's your prediction for the Lakers this year? Do they make the playoffs? And if so, what seed range do you think they'll be in?
I was actually really down on them, and the more I kind of looked at everything, I'm happy with what we have. I think it's a good foundation to build. I'm actually going to put them at the 4th seed, and I'm going to put them behind. I'm going to put them behind Golden State, Houston, and the Utah Jazz. And I think they're going to come right in there at that 4th seed. I think we're talking 52 to 55 wins. Yeah. And remember this, last year they won 35 games. Lonzo Ball missed time. Brandon Ingram missed time. And here's a fun stat for you. Whenever Brandon Ingram was in a starting lineup for the Lakers, they were over 500 last year. So they're not as far away with that young nucleus as people thought. And adding LeBron James and some vets just takes them to – honestly, a new level.
Adding the GOAT, you mean?
You're right. The best player to ever come out of Akron. You're right.
The best player to ever put on a Lakers jersey.
Oh, boy.
Hold up. Chris, man, I know you are a Laker historian. I know you've been watching the Lakers a long time. How do you feel about that statement?
No. We're talking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson. Even James Worthy has more of a claim than LeBron right now. I'm not saying James Worthy is a better player all time. LeBron hasn't played a game. Is LeBron the best player from 2 preseason games? Absolutely not. Give him his 4 years to build a legacy. And if he brings us a title or 2, then we'll start talking about greatest Laker of all time. Karl Malone ain't no greatest Laker of all time.
2 preseason games, he got it. I've seen enough.
Got that Lonzo Ball.
Tell him, Chris.
Crazy Summer League MVP, I guess.
Well, all right, Chris, man, we appreciate you joining us, man. We got to bring you back later on. We dive into some more NBA stuff.
I'll join you guys anytime.
All right, man. Thanks.
Have a good night.
You too. Later, all right. So what we want to do now, we want to introduce a new segment to the show. It's something I've been wanting to do. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put it up for you guys so you guys can see. So the new segment that I want to show you guys is called Hot Garbage. So this is hot garbage. So this week, our hot garbage session is going to be the MLB play-in game that happened this week. Major League Baseball need to change this rule. You play 162 games. Figure it out. There is no need for an extra game just because teams are tied. When they've played throughout the year and someone has won that season series between the two teams. There was no reason to make the Cubs play the Brewers in a play-in game, which they then lost, even though they had already beaten the Brewers in the regular season series. And then once they lost that game, they had to play another one-game do-or-die for the wild card. It's ridiculous. Major League Baseball needs to fix that. There's no reason that they can't settle that in 162 games.
Yeah, I don't get that one game, man.
That is hot garbage.
Like in baseball, they play 162 games.
Yes.
You know, I would understand if they had like maybe a 3-game series. I would still kind of understand it. You know, you got to extend the season a little bit, but one game, come on.
Yep. All right.
I'm there with you, bro.
Yep. So speaking of Major League Baseball, it is. The playoffs are started. They kick off really tomorrow. We got the wild card games. I believe the Yankees. Yep. Yankees still up 2-0 in the wild card game against the A's.
Yep.
So what is your outlook on the playoffs? Who do you have in the World Series?
Man, I tell you, bro, I got I got Houston, and I have Milwaukee.
Okay. We're almost close. I'm going with Houston, even though that was close between them and Boston. But I'm gonna go with Houston, and I'm gonna say the Dodgers.
Okay. Well, and the reason why I picked my two teams is, one, Houston is, man, they got a bunch of young guys, you know, and they know how to hit. And they got the bullpen, you know. Verlander, he's still, you know, he's up in age, but he's still throwing heat.
Yeah.
That dude has the nastiest curve slider I've ever seen in baseball. Randy Johnson had a nice one, but Justin Verlander, man, is nasty out there. You know, I picked Milwaukee because they're coming on hot. They're probably the hottest team right now in baseball. And, you know, sports is on, you know, it's decided by momentum sometimes, you know, and they got the momentum right now.
They do. I like their locker room. I like the feel of their team. Craig Counsell, they got a great culture. You can tell that they're a bunch of guys who really enjoy playing together. It was close. I was thinking Brewers, but the more I just kept thinking about it, I believe it's finally the Dodgers' time. I believe Kershaw gets over his postseason kind of disappointments this postseason, and I think he really comes through. And I think picking up Machado at the trade deadline,
that was
big. Look at their lineup. I look at from a National League perspective, I think they're still the best team in the National League, so I'm gonna go with them. American League, man, Houston and Boston was such a toss-up to me.
Yeah.
They're both so strong in their pitching staffs. They're both hitters up and down their lineups. But I like Houston's experience. I like the fact they won the World Series last year. Yep. And as great as Boston was winning 108 games, Houston won 103.
But you know what? Boston kind of faltered towards the end. I don't know if they were maybe, you know, saving energy or whatnot. But they didn't look good down the stretch.
Yeah, I believe they were kind of coasting.
Yeah. And they had a chance, man, to really like open it up and set some records as far as like wins and stuff like that, but and separate themselves, you know, from Houston, but they didn't. So I got Houston with the pedigree.
All right, cool. So talk about your Braves though.
Oh man, my young Braves. So we didn't make a play for an ace, you know, at the trade deadline. And I think that's going to hurt us. You know, we stuck with our guns, and I wholeheartedly believe we should have brought a big time ace in, and we didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't see them getting past, you know, what was it? The first round, you know. Yeah. I don't see them getting past them.
Yep. Same here. One team we did not mention, and that's the Yankees, who broke the record for home runs in a season.
Man, honestly, it's hard to say the Yankees are the sleeper team, you know, but
they won 100 games during the wild card game.
That's so crazy, you know. But if I can pick a team outside of the two that I picked for the World Series, it would be the Yankees.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't go with the Yankees, because we know once the playoff starts, it's about pitching.
It is.
And so I went with pitching over hitting.
Yeah, it is about pitching. It gets cooler. Game slows down a little bit, but man, Yankees can hit that ball, bro.
Absolutely.
They may not affect them.
All right. So we got another guest on. So let's move on. All right. So we have our new guest, Ashton Clark. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. About y'all.
What's going on, buddy?
So you got the Braves hat on.
Not a whole lot. Yep. I'm representing the Braves and the Tigers.
We'll get into that.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Hey, Houston Braves, I'm calling it. Go ahead.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. That's faith.
Absolutely. But I'm an LSU guy, so I'm cheering for Bragg, even if they're playing the Braves.
Yeah. All right. So you just said you're an LSU guy, and that's why we have you on to talk a little college football.
Absolutely.
All right. So you should love this headline, right?
I don't know about that.
Come on, that's how it is. It's Alabama and everybody else.
I guess that's technically true for 2 quarters.
Maybe the trip to Baton Rouge, they'll have to play more than 2 quarters.
And they ain't going to be ready to do it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell us, man. So outside of the Braves and the Tigers, who else are you a fan of?
Oh, man, the Saints in the NFL. But the NFL's got soft, so it's tough to watch. I'm not a big basketball fan. So
okay.
I don't know. I guess that's it. I'm a big Chris Paul fan though.
Yeah.
I love Chris Paul.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why we brought you on to talk college football and not basketball.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
So what are your big takeaways from almost first half of the season?
Big takeaways. The SEC West is the absolute most athletic, most well-coached division in all of college football. The Big Ten was overrated. They have 2 teams, and then it's everybody else. The Pac-12 is not going to get into the playoff. The ACC is weak, and I'm excited to see what the Big 12 does. So
man,
that's the biggest takeaways.
Man, you dropped a lot. Okay.
I'll definitely second that on the SEC West. I mean, top to bottom, outside of Arkansas, but top to bottom, man, those teams are fun to watch.
Right. And even Ole Miss is fun to watch when they're playing Southern Illinois.
But even Ole Miss, and to your point, even Ole Miss being as bad as we say they are at the bottom of the West, they beat Texas Tech.
Yeah,
they did.
So
just completely outscored them.
I agree. Texas A&M played Clemson to the wire. Alabama is Alabama. LSU already have wins outside the conference against Miami. So yeah, Auburn beat Washington, who's the #1 team in the Pac-12.
Right.
So yeah, you kind of got to get the SEC West their props. You mentioned the Big Ten.
Yeah.
2 teams.
Yeah.
What was your takeaways from that game this past week, Ohio State, Penn State?
No, number one, I would love to go to a whiteout game in Happy Valley. Like, man, that would just be awesome.
That is my #1 TV atmosphere is a whiteout at Penn State.
I'm telling you, that's top notch there. I think that their atmosphere could compete with LSU and Alabama. Just
whoa,
it's awesome.
Whoa. What about the blackout in Athens?
Hold on. Huh? Now, do you really want to talk about blackout? Y'all still hadn't gotten over that.
I know, man.
Julio just scored again.
Oh, God.
God. That's pretty low.
I still got PTSD.
Pretty low. I hear you, man.
Yeah.
But, the Big Ten is Ohio State and Penn State and everybody else. As much as I hate it, Jim Harbaugh cannot win the big games, which really, really blows because I love that dude. I like to see Mark D'Antonio do well, but Michigan State hadn't been good since Cook. And the rest of the conferences looked weak as well.
Yeah. All right. So you mentioned the conferences. There's a team that doesn't play in the conference that looks really good right now. Notre Dame.
Yep.
How do you see Notre Dame?
Notre Dame could be could be that team that ruins the playoff once again. You have UCF on one side who hasn't lost a game in 2 years, and Notre Dame on the other doesn't have a conference affiliation. And we need a 32-team playoff, man.
Whoa!
Wow, 32.
Hey,
Whoa.
hey, yeah, yep. I'm a big high school football fan, and my high school's a 3A team, and there are about 60 some odd teams in 3A football in Louisiana, and the top 32 get in. So, I mean, I'm not even advocating anything as extreme as half of the field, but it'd be a 32-team playoff.
Okay, this is where my passion comes in, because I love college football. And the reason I love college football is because it has the greatest regular season in all the sports. Because week to week, it all changes, it all matters, and it's exciting. And when in other sports, you do not get that atmosphere that you got at Penn State until the playoffs.
That's true.
Yeah, but but in college football, you get it in the regular season because there's so much on the line riding on those games. Mm-hmm. If it was a 32-team playoff, who cares if Penn State loses? They'll get in the playoff.
Yeah, I wouldn't like a 32-team playoff, because the gap between the top 5, and I'd say even the top 5 and the rest of the teams is so huge. Be blowouts.
Take a team that's not in the top 25 and put them in the playoff. Why?
Mm-hmm.
It's a blowout.
Bottom of the top 25. Hold up, Texas A&M was ranked number 22. Went to Alabama and got destroyed.
Right. And Troy was unranked. Went to Baton Rouge and beat LSU.
Well, that's because it's LSU.
Okay, yeah, and then they beat Nebraska too, right? Troy's the best team in the nation, probably, but you have that Cinderella possibility that you have in the 64-team bracket in college basketball, or in the regional and super regional in college baseball, and there's not a Cinderella story in college football, and for the foreseeable future, there won't be, because you have a 4-team playoff, and at least one conference is getting screwed out of a spot. And if Notre Dame keeps playing like they're playing and UCF keeps playing like they're playing, it becomes harder and harder to see 3 conferences not being left out.
What Cinderella are we talking about has won a college basketball championship?
Basketball, wasn't it Florida Gulf Coast?
They made a run. You've had teams make runs, but
they made runs.
Cinderella really won.
Yeah. I don't think we ever had maybe NC State back in the 80s.
But they won as a Cinderella.
Yeah. I don't think that's ever happened.
It hasn't.
Well, in baseball, you did have Stony Brook. Or was it? Who was it?
Yeah, you're talking
a few
about
years ago.
Texas State?
I don't think it was Texas State. It was a team like Stony Brook. But anyway, what were you asking?
All right, so you mentioned college March Madness. So I take it you watch March Madness. You're not a big basketball fan.
I watch the scores.
Okay. All right. But I guess the point I was going to make was people watch March Madness, but nobody cares about college basketball's regular season. Nobody's watching college basketball in October, November. Nobody cares about –
That's a good point.
Yeah, nobody cares about Duke, Michigan State, and the Great Alaskan Shootout. It's a meaningless game, but people care about Washington, Auburn, because it has implications. It means something.
Right, and now the Pac-12 is
playoff out, you lose that regular season college football has.
Yeah, and that would be a sacrifice I'm willing to make, particularly to get 3-loss LSU and a 2-loss Georgia and a 1-loss Alabama and a 2-loss Auburn into the bracket and just see the SEC dominate.
Hold on, you got his audio straight?
Yeah, you were breaking up pretty bad there.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, you still are. Did something change?
Nah, I'm aware. Better, worse.
Is it still the same?
Yeah. That's that AOL dial-up.
You've got mail. I think it's cleared up. I think it's cleared up now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you back. Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
All right. Well, the point I was making with that is all of us being SEC guys. I mean, 4 teams could legitimately find their way into the semifinal game in a bigger bracket. I mean, even if it were 16 teams.
I get what you're saying. I just believe in rewarding excellence and not mediocrity. If you lose 3-4 games, you don't deserve to be in the playoff.
Right.
Yeah.
And we reward excellence until it comes to Penn State winning the conference and Ohio State getting in, or UCF going undefeated.
Oh, you mean that Penn State team that lost 2 games and lost by 30 to Michigan?
That won their conference.
Winning your conference don't mean anything.
They beat the team that got in head to head.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know what more. I don't know what more that team has to do.
Don't lose 2 games, even though that Ohio State lost 1. Penn State had 2 losses, and one of those losses was a big blowout to Michigan.
Even so, I don't like that, and I don't like that UCF getting screwed means still one conference is left out of the playoff.
Name one team on UCF's schedule in the regular season that they beat.
That they beat?
Yeah, in the regular season on their schedule last year, and even so far this year, who have they played? Who have they beaten? You said they haven't lost in 2 years. What?
I don't know their regular season schedule, but they beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl last year.
And that's great. The Peach Bowl is, hey, for them, New Year's Day Bowl, that was a big deal. But
that is a big deal.
They were in the Peach Bowl because in the regular season, they played nobody.
Yeah.
Right. And so they suffer from not being a Power 5 conference.
Absolutely, they do.
Right.
Absolutely.
And there's that on every side of the spectrum.
But didn't that happen to Boise State too? You know,
absolutely.
Boise State
absolutely
scheduling harder opponents, and now you hear nothing about them.
That's true.
And to me, it goes. It's kind of like you were saying, Ashton. And the reason I don't advocate for UCF's getting in. Is it fair to the Mississippi States, the Ole Misses of the world, who have to play LSU, Alabama, A&M, Auburn, Florida, Georgia every year, and UCF gets to play South Florida and Cincinnati and Connecticut and then scream about them being undefeated? It's not all equal. You can't judge it just by 12-0 because they're not playing anybody.
Maybe it's not fair. Like I get that, but they proved by beating Auburn in a New Year's Day Bowl that they belonged there, and that's something to look at. With only 4 teams getting in, why aren't they scheduling harder opponents?
Well, it's one of those things.
Why isn't Bama scheduling harder opponents?
Hey,
you can try to schedule a harder opponent. Like,
hey, I'm with you on that. Bama playing Arkansas this weekend.
Well, that's a conference game.
Alabama ain't played nobody with a winning record yet.
Hey, put it like this.
That's true.
I'm so glad y'all brought this up. Alabama hasn't played anybody. You know what Alabama's strength of schedule is right now?
That's why Tua look like Joe Montana out there.
Alabama's strength of schedule right now is 24th in the nation. Now, that's not great, but it's not bad. You know what UCF's is right now? 118.
Yeah.
118.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying UCF is playing hard teams, but if we had a bigger field, we could see that instead of UCF claiming a national championship.
I believe Power 5 needs to split off from Group of 5. I think 129 teams in one division is too many.
I think you're right.
You know, we can't keep pretending that the UCFs and the Group of 5 teams are playing the same level of difficulty of schedule as the Power 5 teams. You know,
right?
Break them off to, like, we have got FBS, we have FCS. Break it off again. Group of 5 becomes its own thing. Power 5 is its own thing, and we can stop having this discussion about, you know, little sisters of the poor need to be in the playoff when they haven't played the big boys.
Well, you know,
I can get down with that.
Yeah, I think I would like to see maybe a 6 and then 2 wild cards, and those 2 wild cards would be, you know, not from a Power 5. I mean, you know, Power 5 conference like a UCF. You know,
right?
I guess I'm just too much of a capitalist, I guess. Because I don't care about those little guys.
I get it. But maybe if it's an undefeated UCF, maybe they get the wild card.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guarantee there's a one-loss team out there that's way more deserving than them.
Not in 2007.
Well, that was a very, very odd year. I mean, LSU won a championship with 2 losses.
Yeah.
Because everybody outside of Ohio State had at least 2 losses. So that was very unique situation.
But you're over here guaranteeing that there's a one-loss team that deserves a spot.
I would say there's a 2-loss team more deserving. If you're going to give me a SEC team or a ACC team that's 10-2 versus a group of 5 team that's 12-0, I'm taking that 10-2 team.
I could see that. But it would be easier to settle the argument if you had a bigger field. If both of them got in and UCF got killed.
True. But I believe in keeping the playoff exclusive. I believe in keeping it small so we have that drama and that tension of the regular season that you don't get in other sports. And so
I don't know, man. It's still too small. So if you don't expand it to 16 or 32, then at least 8. I mean,
I can see that, a 6 or 8. Instead of having all
it's way too small.
Yeah, instead of having the mouse pad bowl,
Yeah.
No. Like I say, I'm exclusive.
Ain't budging, bro.
Hey, college football used to be about the top 2. Extended to 4 is kind of like letting some other teams in. Now 6.
Yeah.
Now 8. Now 12.
The privilege.
And you know why they did it? They did it because everybody was mad about the SEC winning it every year. And then the SEC wins it every year.
All SEC championship game. And then what do we have?
Exactly. So if you expand it more, we don't lose that. We still are the most dominant conference in football, and we prove it even more convincingly.
So hey, let me ask you this real quick, and we gotta wrap it up. Let me ask you this: Would the NCAA, with college football lose viewership if those small teams like a UCF make it into the playoffs and eventually get to the championship? Would they lose, viewership? Because I mean, that's a small school, small following. What say you?
Well, there's a lot of facets to that. Number one, people love football, and the NFL is getting harder and harder to watch. So people are turning to college football anyway. If you expanded the bracket, I don't think that a lot of viewership would be lost. I mean, expand it to 6 or 8 teams in the regular season because you still have that tension between Auburn and Alabama in the Iron Bowl, or the Penn State and Ohio State game, or the what have you game in the regular season. You still have that tension because conference championships matter, regular season games matter. And if you got, I don't know, the undefeated best group of 5 team in, then there's always that chance that they could make some noise. Yeah. And I don't think that would be bad for college football's ratings at all. I don't think that would be bad for college football's ratings any more than Florida Gulf Coast making a run in the playoffs in basketball.
Yeah.
Right. Now, of course, the regular season in basketball is tough to watch. Like it's down there, and they don't even televise most of the baseball games.
Right.
But at the same time, if you expanded it only a little bit, I don't think that you would lose the pageantry of regular season football in college football.
And see, the reason why I asked that is because maybe college football is looking at the other sports regular season and saying, man, people aren't even watching their regular seasons, Right. So maybe they're keeping it a small playoff, to put more value on the regular season, like Kevin said. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Maybe they're looking at it as opposed to competition, they're looking at it as we don't want to lose viewers.
Hey, that could be the case, but the NFL is helping them there, right, with all of the terrible rules. Yeah. It's a penalty now to sack the quarterback, and people are tired of watching flag football with pads. So they're going to turn to college football one way or the other.
I got you. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Ashton, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you being on with us, taking some time out. And I promised I would give a shout out to the SEC Tavern.
Hey, now
the Reformed SEC Tavern. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's us.
Yep.
That's us.
Yep.
But yeah, hey, before I go, real quick, number one, Georgia is going to lose in Death Valley, and number two,
hold up, bro.
Alabama is going to lose in Death Valley.
What? Man, get this guy out of here, bro. He gonna drop the mic on us. Get him out of here.
I asked him, man. Man, we gotta have you back again, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me, man.
Yep.
Thank you, bro.
All right. Bye-bye.
Man, he just dropped it on you.
Where you find this guy at, man? Huh? I need to start screening these guys before you put them on.
Hey, man. Hey, Ashton's a good dude. He's a expiring sports writer, so we'll be seeing his stuff soon.
Definitely, man. Definitely had a good time with him.
Yeah, I just got to get on about that playoff thing, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, let's keep it moving. The next topic that we're going to do, let's move on to the NFL, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. So, man, this past week, all I said was Mahomes.
Man,
I'm just going to leave it at that.
That was the best game of the year for me. You know, them playing, and they were playing in Denver, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was in Denver.
Yeah, in Denver. Denver's crowd is ridiculous. Denver and Kansas City got a crazy crowd too, but Denver's crowd that's the 12th man also, and Mahomes went in there, bro. Denver's defense is still top 3, but Mahomes, man, is just cool, calm, collected, ran those plays, throwing out of his behind.
Hey, man, did you see that left-handed pass? Did you see the left-handed pass?
Yeah. I mean, dude was so calm. I mean, he's getting chased out the pocket, man, and he sees the dude on the left-hand side by the sideline, and he's like, I can't, contort my body to get the ball to him. So he threw it with his left hand. He shot put it.
Yep.
Shot put it.
Hey, the best thing about that whole play was the Broncos defender on the ground, on his knees, realized that he completed that pass, and he just he just died. He just like, really?
Yeah, I just witnessed that.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, dude is awesome, man. Okay, so we're both guilty. In the beginning, people were anointing him as the MVP, the next coming, and we were like, "Oh, slow down, slow down." I tell you what, man, he's exciting. Right now, he's playing the best football in the NFL.
He reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. He does. Just the way he plays, his mobility, his ability to throw on the run with accuracy. Man, he's just fun to watch.
He's an all-around great QB already. And I mean, this is his first year playing, Last year he didn't touch the ball. I mean, he had a couple of series here and there, but
I think he started the last game of the season.
Yeah. Dude, it's fun to watch, man.
Yeah. But you said this was the best game of Sunday, but it wasn't the best game of the week. The best game of the week was Thursday night. Rams, Vikings.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That was an awesome game. Hey, it was not what I was expecting. I'm like, man, these are two defenses. This is going to be a defensive kind of game, first 1 to 24 kind of wins. Man, it was a shootout.
We said it before, man, but that we're going to see records fall this year. Teams are scoring points. You know what I'm saying? You don't see like the 13-10, we're seeing like 37-38. It's fun to watch, but there's a fine line between, the defense, offense, you know what I'm saying? There's a fine line, man. And people.
It's like Ashton was saying.
Yeah.
He's saying that people are gonna, shy away from the NFL, and the NFL number. People are kind of upset about this new sack rule because it's ridiculous. But at the same time, people like scoring.
People like scoring.
They like offensive football.
Yeah. Ratings don't lie.
It brings in the average fan.
Right.
You know, instead of that 13-10 defensive struggle that the football guys like to see, and it was tough and it was greedy.
Yeah. Old school Ravens versus Steelers, 13. Yeah.
Yep. No, people want to see scoring. The NFL is trying to make it to where that scoring takes place. Whatever rule changes they need to make to see it happen.
Yep.
And so those rule changes on top of the new kind of bunch of quarterbacks that we talked about in the previous show, man, this is the new norm.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see the backup quarterback. Nick Foles, he won a championship. He won a Super Bowl, but nobody wants to see a backup quarterback, the whole season with San Francisco. Who's the backup quarterback?
No. I'm glad you said it. Nobody wanted to see a backup the whole season, like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Nobody wanted to see that, man. I told you, James is coming back.
My boy.
Man, he turned into Fitz tragic so quick.
God, what happened? But you know what, though? I'll be honest with you, man. He's a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get with him.
You don't.
So I'm kind of glad that the Falcons are going to see Jameis Winston instead of a Fitzpatrick. I hate to say it, but you don't know. You don't know if you're going to get the 400-yard 5 TD Fitzpatrick, or you're going to get the 150-yard 5 interception Fitzpatrick. You don't know.
Yeah.
That's why he's a backup.
Yep, that we don't want to see all year.
But yeah, man, just and we talked about the Patriots, right? Do the Patriots, are they a contender now? Or a Super Bowl contender? And they proved us right.
Man, they bounced back big time.
Yeah. Patriots already look like Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah. Speaking of Patriots, the team they beat is 3-1.
Yep.
So tell us about your 3 in, 3 out.
3 in, 3 out, man. This is a new segment that we're doing. And I'm going to talk about the 3-1 teams that aren't really, I don't think going to make the playoffs. And then we're going to talk about the 1-3 teams that I think are going to bounce back. So I got my 3 in, 3 out. All right. So first up, AFC 3-1 teams. I got Miami. I got Bengals, Ravens, Titans, Jags. And I got the 3 teams that are going to be out that are 3-1 right now. I think it's going to be Miami. I think it's going to be the Bengals, and I got the Titans that are going to be out. I got the Ravens. They're looking good, man. Good aerial strikes. I mean, Flacco has an arm again, and he's flinging the ball 70-plus yards. These wide receivers, and they're catching it. Defense is looking good with the Ravens. It's a good-looking team. And I got the Jags. The Jags, man, just overall great defense. Blake Bortles is not messing up. He's healthy. Leonard Fournette is coming back, and I think that's a good overall team. So 3-1, I think those 2 teams are in. Now, on the NFC side, I got the Bears at 3-1. I got the Saints, the Redskins, and Carolina. And I think the 3 teams that are out, I got.
Well, before you get into that,
yeah,
I already know. I'm just going to jump ahead. I already know that after you picked against the Bears last week, you are a believer now, right?
No, I'm not. I ain't a believer. I think the Bears, they got a little momentum. I think they got the big head, and they don't have a franchise quarterback. They don't.
He just threw 6 touchdowns.
It don't matter, man. He ain't no franchise quarterback. He threw 6 touchdowns in September. That's September. How many teams have won the Super Bowl in September?
How many quarterbacks threw 6 touchdowns?
Ooh. So already this season, one has.
Yeah.
And
his name is Mitchell Trubisky.
Quarterbacks are throwing touchdowns this year. Matt Ryan got 5 TDs. So, I mean,
Man, you took a dig at your boy.
I'm just saying. Quarterback.
Hey. That's because he has those 2 Alabama receivers to throw to.
Yeah, I know. But we'll get to that. So my 3 out. I got Bears. I think they overrated. I got the Saints. Their defense is not looking good at all. And I got the Redskins. Alex Smith, he's mundane quarterback. Check the block. He ain't pulling through. And the team that I had, the team that I have in is going to be Carolina Panthers. Carolina's got a great defense. Cam Newton is looking better this year, and they got McCaffrey. He's looking good out there. So those are my 3 and 1s. Now my 1 and 3s, real quick. I know we pressed on time. So my 1 and 3s, I got Bills, Jets, Texans, Colts, and Raiders. So my outs, I got Bills, Jets, Colts, Raiders. My in, I got Texans. I think the Texans are going to pull it out. I think Deshaun Watson is looking better. I think the defense is finally going to start clicking. And I got the Texans actually making the playoffs, making a push for the playoffs at 1 and 3 right now. On the NFC side, 1 and 3, I got the Giants, I got the Lions, my Falcons, and the 49ers. My 3 outs from that group is the Giants. I don't think they're gonna pull it out. They 1 and 3. I got them going like 5 and 11 this year. Lions, I don't know what's going on with Lions, man. They got a good quarterback, but it just ain't putting things together. And I got the 49ers out. You lost your quarterback. I don't even know who the backup quarterback is in San Fran. Who is he?
CJ Beathard out of Iowa.
Yeah, whoever. So I got my Falcons, man.
Shock face.
Hear me out. We can score. We can score with the best of them in the NFL, and that's what is winning games. Is scoring. Our defense is ranked. I think we're 29 right now at 32, and our defense is horrible. It's depleted. But I heard some good news. I heard from today, from the coach's mouth, from Dan Quinn, that we're looking at Michael Bennett. So,
okay. So, for the most part, I kind of agree with your ins and outs. A couple I don't. The Falcons, unless Michael Bennett can play safety, it ain't gonna matter.
Oh man, he's a good leader on the field, though.
He can't play safety.
I know, man. Golly,
you lost too many guys in your secondary that are out for the year. They're not coming back. So I think you're done.
I don't know why we didn't make a play for Eric Reed.
Yeah, I think the Bears are for real because I think the Bears defense is for real, and the offense is only going to keep getting better. I like the Bears.
Got to score points.
And another team that you said was out, but I kind of like, and that's the Redskins. I like they're solid. They're not flashy. It's an Alex Smith-led team. It's never going to be flashy.
Yep.
But I think they're solid. The division they're in with the Cowboys, the Giants, who you already dogged out. Cowboys aren't doing anything, and the Eagles are struggling. So I kind of like Washington. I think they're going to make a run for the playoffs.
It's funny you say that about the Eagles, man. I do think the Eagles are going to struggle too, but I think the Eagles are going to win that division.
I mean, if I had to put money on it, I would still lean toward the Eagles. I'm not counting the Eagles out, but I think Washington's going to be right there. All right, man. So final segment of the show. Talk about your locks from last week, man. How you do?
Oh, 0-3, bro.
0-3.
Yeah, 0-3, man. I had just a real quick, I had Auburn, over hold on.
No.
No, my bad. Hold on. Where my locks at?
I'll do mine first.
Yeah, my bad. I lost my locks. Where my locks go?
All right, I'll do mine first since I went 3-0 this week.
Go ahead.
All right, so I went 3-0. I had Houston over the Colts, which they almost blew it. They won in overtime. I had Texas over K-State, which I'm really feeling Texas right now. And I called that Notre Dame over Stanford.
Yeah,
I wasn't buying Stanford. I thought Oregon. I had said Oregon was going to beat Stanford. Oregon gave that game away. I don't know how they lost that game, but I was like, Notre Dame, lock it in, going to beat Stanford, blew them out.
Yeah.
All right, so that was my 3 last week.
All right, so hold on, I found mine. So real quick, I found mine.
Okay.
I had Ole Miss over LSU. Ole Miss let me down.
I told you.
Golly, man, it let me down. So I was really expecting, air attack, throwing that football, and they didn't. They just, they couldn't get over that LSU defense. So I had I had Fitzpatrick over Chicago.
Man, you are horrible.
Fitz tragic, let me down. And then last but not least, I had the Steelers over the Ravens. That game actually surprised me. The Ravens looked a lot better, and they're using Lamar Jackson as a wildcat.
Yeah,
and it's working.
They are. Yeah, I saw that. They look really good. So who you got this week? What are your 3 this week?
All right, so I knew you was gonna ask me that, so I got it right here. So this week I got the Chiefs over the Jags. They're playing in Arrowhead.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great game. But they're playing in Arrowhead, so that stadium is rocking.
Yeah, I would lean with you on that.
Yeah, 85,000 people got Patrick Mahomes jerseys on. So, and then I got my Falcons over the Steelers. This is our week, man. This is our week.
Last week I said I wasn't gonna let you lock the Falcons no more.
Come on, man. Come on. This is our week. So I believe our offense is better than their offense, and we both have sorry defenses. So we win. Even though it's in Pittsburgh, but I think, and they'll have no Le'Veon Bell. He ain't playing. So I got my Falcons, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
I've tried to help.
Come on, man. Give me that.
I've tried to help you.
Yeah. So
you keep going back to it.
I know. I keep going back to that well.
Yes.
And then last but not least,
it's dry.
I know. Golly, dude. And last but not least, I got the Vikings over the Eagles. And you touched on it earlier, man. I think the Eagles, they just ain't looking right now. They got a great defense. There's some good players on it. London Fletcher. Some good players on that team. But something ain't clicking. I don't know if it was because Carson Wentz was hurt and he didn't play the first 4 games. Something ain't clicking, man. But I think the Vikings are going to bounce back and win this game.
Yeah. Those are 2 teams that definitely both need a win. The Vikings have lost 2 in a row. So have the Eagles. And the Eagles got a lot of issues. The offensive line isn't blocking well. Defensively, they're not as good as they were last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that. All right. So this week, my 3. Kentucky jumped into our poll this week.
Yep.
But they're on the road at Texas A&M. And I think the Cinderella kind of story kind of ends. And I'm going to go with Texas A&M over Kentucky.
Yep.
All right. LSU travels to the Swamp to play Florida. I'm going LSU. I like Florida, but if Kentucky can go to the Swamp and win, LSU can go down there and win. I'm going LSU.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm going Carolina over the Giants. Cam Newton outduels Eli Manning.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So
real quick about your locks. So Kentucky, let's say they win this game. Are they a top 10 team?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lock? Okay.
Yeah. In our poll this week, they were 13.
Yeah.
If they go to Texas A&M, because the 2 games they've won have been pretty impressive, have both been at home. They beat South Carolina and they beat Mississippi State. If they can go on the road to where Clemson almost lost,
to
the 12th man, to College Station, if they can go down there and pull out a win, props. Kentucky's for real, and Georgia needs to be worried that Georgia has to go to Kentucky this year.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm nervous about Georgia. Last couple games, they ain't been looking good.
I would be too.
Fromm ain't looking good. I wonder if Kirby Smart is looking at his stable of QBs.
Nah, because from an outside perspective, I don't believe Georgia's issue is the quarterback position. I think it's the offense is too vanilla, no matter who the quarterback is.
Yeah,
the play calling is so vanilla. I can't figure out the running back rotation.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't figure them out. And their defense, they got some issues on defense. And the biggest glaring thing is pass rush. Georgia doesn't have a pass rush.
That's probably the biggest is the pass rush.
Yeah, and if you can't have a pass rush, you're gonna be in trouble against some teams.
Yeah. Georgia is not looking. To me, they're not looking too good. These last couple of games. Hopefully, we can get our swagger back, man, before the championship game.
Yeah. I agree, man. Right, man. Well, another episode in the books.
Man.
Yep. I want to thank Chris Ruiz for coming through. I want to thank Ashton Clark for coming through. We're going to have more guys coming in. So just stay tuned. Different people. And the thing about this show, this is a show for just the regular guy. We all love sports. We all have a certain knowledge and expertise in certain areas. Come on the show, talk about your thing, right? So any last words, man? Nah,
man. Great show. Folks that are coming on, don't be afraid to debate because I'm going to ask you them hard questions.
Absolutely. Also, subscribe to the channel. And let us know what you like about the show, what you don't like. Leave comments. Just let us know. All right, man. Good show. See you next time. We out.
All right, bro.